There are things a man can forgive, and then there are things a man should never, ever tolerate. But too many men do. They call it compromise. They call it keeping the peace. They call it love. It's not love, it's surrender. And here's the brutal truth: the moment you tolerate these behaviors, you teach her that she can keep doing them, and she will. Flirting with other men to get a reaction, mocking you in public and calling it just a joke, withholding affection to control you, pushing your boundaries just to see if you'll break. You think it's harmless. You think it's just how women are, but it's not. It's a test, one that will cost you her respect, your dignity, and eventually yourself. If you want to know the 8 behaviors no man with self respect should ever tolerate, stay here. Because when you understand them, you'll never look at relationships the same way again. 1. Flirting with other men to get a reaction. If you are a man with any self respect, you do not tolerate this. You do not laugh it off. You do not excuse it. You do not pretend it's harmless. You walk. Because when a woman flirts with other men in front of you, especially to provoke you, she's doing more than disrespecting you. She's testing your value as a man. Understand this. Women don't always test you with words. Sometimes they test you with actions. Actions designed to push you out of your calm, to make you react, to see if your frame can hold under pressure. And one of the most insidious tests, flirting with another man right in front of you. She laughs a little too hard at his jokes. She touches his arm accidentally. She throws little glances his way just long enough for you to notice. Then she looks at you, not because she's unaware of what she's doing, but because she wants to see what you'll do. Will you explode? Will you beg for reassurance? Will you get jealous, insecure, start performing for her attention like a boy fighting for scraps? Or will you stay calm, grounded, composed, unbothered, and remind her that your value doesn't rise or fall based on her antics? This is where most men fail. They either overreact, causing a scene, making themselves look insecure, or they underreact, pretending not to care while quietly seething inside. Both responses tell her the same thing: she controls you. And once she knows that, respect dies. Here's the harsh truth: flirting with other men in front of you isn't about just being friendly, it's about seeing if she can pull your strings. It's about feeding her ego at your expense. And if she's doing it consistently, it's about one thing above all: testing the limits of what you'll tolerate. A stoic man doesn't play this game. He doesn't need to get jealous to prove he cares. He doesn't need to mark his territory like a dog protecting a bone. He simply sees the behavior for what it is: a blatant sign of disrespect, and enforces his boundary calmly, directly, without drama. He says, in essence, I don't compete for attention. If you want to behave like you're single, be single. But I won't share my life with a woman who disrespects me to feed her ego. No yelling, no theatrics, just clarity. Because here's the paradox: the calmer you are when enforcing your boundaries, the more powerful you become. She expects you to panic, to lash out, to beg for her to stop. But when you don't, when you simply draw the line and stand firm, she realizes you are not a man who can be toyed with. And if she respects you, she'll stop. If she doesn't, you walk not as a threat, not as a tactic, but as a man who refuses to live in a relationship where he is disrespected. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. And if it is not acceptable, do not tolerate it." If she's flirting with other men to get a reaction, she's telling you something about her character. Believe her, because tolerating it doesn't make you secure. It makes you complicit in your own disrespect. So here's the rule: if she needs to make you feel small to feel powerful, she doesn't deserve a place in your life. 2. Weaponizing tears to avoid accountability. If you are truly a man of self-respect, you will never tolerate this. You will never allow a woman to weaponize her emotions, especially tears, to escape accountability. It's one of the oldest tactics in the book, and yet men keep falling for it. She crosses a line. She lies. She disrespects you. You call her out calmly, directly, and instead of taking responsibility, she breaks down. The tears come, the trembling voice, the "I can't believe you'd say that to me." Suddenly, you're not having a conversation about her actions. You're comforting her, you're apologizing, you're backing down, and just like that, accountability vanishes. This isn't about genuine pain. A real woman in real pain deserves your empathy, but you know the difference between someone hurting and someone performing. This is about control, about turning the spotlight off of her actions and onto your reaction, about manipulating the situation until she walks away scot-free while you're left feeling guilty for even bringing it up. It works because most men hate seeing a woman cry. It hits a primal nerve. It makes you want to fix it. But when you let those tears blind you, you become easy to manipulate. And a woman who can manipulate you like that will never respect you. A stoic man doesn't take the bait. He doesn't get drawn into the emotional chaos. He doesn't let crocodile tears rewrite the truth. He stays calm, grounded, unmoved by theatrics. He sees the behavior for what it is, avoidance. And he brings the conversation back to the point. I'm not attacking you. I'm holding you accountable. We can address how you feel, but first we're going to address what happened. That's it. No yelling, no comforting, until the issue is resolved. No letting her twist the narrative. Because if you give in, if you let tears erase responsibility, you teach her that every mistake has an easy escape route and that you'll let her take it every time. A woman who respects you may cry, but she'll also own her actions. A woman who doesn't will weaponize those tears to make you the villain. And you have a choice. Stand firm or get played. 3. Disrespecting you in public and calling it jokes. If you are a man with any dignity, you do not tolerate public disrespect. Not once, not ever. It usually starts small. She makes a joke at your expense in front of her friends. She teases you about your job, your habits, your body. Everyone laughs, she smirks. And when you look upset, she brushes it off. Relax. I was just joking. But here's the truth. It wasn't a joke. It was a test. Women don't publicly humiliate men they respect. They don't make you the punchline in front of others unless they want to see how far they can push you. And if you laugh along, if you swallow your pride because you don't want to overreact, you've just taught her that she can disrespect you in public without consequence. It won't stop there. It never does. Today it's a joke about your clothes. Tomorrow it's a joke about your masculinity. Then it's a joke about other men being more attractive than you. The audience changes. Her friends, your friends, coworkers, but the message stays the same. I can disrespect him and he'll do nothing. And every time you let it slide, you lose a little bit more of her respect. A stoic man addresses it immediately. Not with anger, not with a scene, but with calm, unwavering authority. Don't joke about me like that in public. If you have something to say, we'll talk about it privately. That's it. Short, clear, no overreaction. This does 2 things. First, it sets a boundary. Second, it shows her that you are a man who will protect his dignity, no matter the setting. Because here's the harsh reality. If she makes fun of you in public, she's showing everyone how little she fears consequences. And if you say nothing, you're showing them she's right. The Stoics taught us that dignity is non-negotiable. You cannot control others, but you can control what you tolerate. And a man who tolerates public disrespect is a man who invites more of it. Real quick, before we go deeper, I've got something powerful for you. It's a free ebook called The Attraction Handbook. Inside, you'll learn how to make her crave you using just a few psychological moves. It's free for now, so grab it in the description or the pinned comment below. 4, using your love as leverage. There's a line no woman should cross. Using your love as a weapon against you, and if you're a man of dignity, you never tolerate it. It looks like this. If you really loved me, you do this. Or maybe I should be with someone who appreciates me. Or the silent version, giving you the cold shoulder, withholding affection, making you feel like her love is a prize you have to earn by obeying her demands. This isn't love. This is control. And yet, men fall for it. They cave. They jump through hoops. They abandon their boundaries just to get back into her good graces. They call it compromise. They call it making her happy. But what they're really doing is training themselves to live as emotional hostages. Their worth determined by how well they please her. This is one of the most dangerous behaviors you can tolerate because it doesn't just chip away at your self-respect. It rewires your brain. It turns you into a man who thinks love is conditional, something you buy with compliance. A stoic man doesn't play that game. He knows that love is a choice, not a contract. He knows that emotional manipulation disguised as standards is unacceptable. And when he sees it, he calls it out calmly, directly. If you're withholding affection to control me, that's not love. That's manipulation. And I won't live in that kind of relationship. No begging, no arguing, no negotiating, just a clear boundary. Because here's the truth: a woman who truly loves you will not use that love as a bargaining chip. And if she does, she's showing you that what you have isn't a partnership, it's a power struggle. And power struggles have no place in real love. 5, belittling your goals and passions. If you are a man with purpose, you do not let anyone, especially the woman in your life, belittle your goals. It sounds small. Maybe she laughs at your business idea. Maybe she calls your hobbies a waste of time. Maybe she mocks your ambition to get in better shape or grow your skills. But make no mistake, this isn't harmless teasing. This is contempt in disguise. When a woman undermines your goals, she's telling you she doesn't believe in you. And if you tolerate it, you're telling yourself the same thing. A stoic man will not let this slide because your goals, your passions, your mission, these are not optional. They are the foundation of your life. They give you purpose. They make you more than just someone's boyfriend or husband. They make you a man. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Stop caring more about her opinion than you care about your vision. If she can't respect your drive, she doesn't respect you. And if you abandon your purpose to make her comfortable, you'll lose her respect and your own self-respect in one shot." Here's the paradox. A woman may test your commitment to your goals because she wants to see if you'll stay the course even under pressure. And if you fold, if you give it all up for her, she won't admire your sacrifice. She'll resent your weakness. A stoic man loves a woman deeply, but he will walk away from anyone who tries to take his purpose from him. 6, testing your boundaries just to see if you'll break. Every man needs to understand this. If you allow a woman to keep testing your boundaries without consequence, she will lose all respect for you. It doesn't always start big. It's subtle at first. She shows up late without an apology. She talks over you in conversations. She dismisses your opinions with a smirk. You feel that sting in your gut. That wasn't right, but you ignore it. You tell yourself, it's no big deal. But here's the reality. Every time you let it slide, you're teaching her something. You're teaching her that your boundaries are negotiable. You're teaching her that she can push and you'll bend. This is why boundary testing escalates. It goes from little slights to outright disrespect, from emotional games to threats. And by the time you wake up and realize what's happening, you're already living in a relationship where your voice doesn't matter. A stoic man doesn't wait until the disrespect becomes unbearable. He enforces boundaries early, calmly, and consistently. He doesn't scream. He doesn't beg. He simply makes it clear. That's not acceptable. If it continues, I won't stay. It's not about controlling her. It's about controlling yourself. About showing that you are a man who knows his worth and will not negotiate it away for anyone's approval. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. And setting boundaries is the ultimate act of taking that power back." 7, threatening to leave whenever she doesn't get her way. This is one of the most toxic behaviors a man can tolerate. And one of the quickest ways to kill a relationship, it sounds like this. Maybe we shouldn't. Be together, or if you don't do this, I'm done. Or the unspoken version, sulking, withdrawing, making you feel like the relationship is always one mistake away from ending. This isn't love, it's emotional blackmail. And men who tolerate it, they end up living in fear. Fear of upsetting her, fear of being abandoned, fear of standing up for themselves. They trade their voice for temporary peace, not realizing that every time they give in, they lose a piece of themselves. A stoic man refuses to live like that. If a woman threatens to leave to get her way, he doesn't plead. He doesn't negotiate. He calmly gives her what she asked for, the door, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. Because love can't survive in a relationship where one person uses abandonment as a weapon. A stoic knows that if she wants to go, she can go. But he will not be manipulated into betraying himself just to make her stay. When you stop fearing her leaving, you stop being controlled by her threats. And when you stop being controlled by threats, you start living like a man again, grounded, free, untouchable. 8. Withholding affection to control you. This one cuts deep, and too many men tolerate it because they don't see it for what it is. It starts with subtle changes. She's less affectionate, less interested, pulling away physically and emotionally. But here's the catch. It only happens when she's upset with you, when you've stood your ground, or when she wants something from you. Suddenly, her love becomes conditional, a reward for compliance. This isn't a partner expressing her needs. This is manipulation. When a woman withholds affection to control you, she's saying, do what I want, or I'll starve you of the intimacy you crave. And men fall for it because they're addicted to that affection. They'll bend over backward to fix things, thinking they're saving the relationship, when in reality, they're training themselves to obey. A stoic man doesn't beg for affection. He doesn't chase. He doesn't crumble under emotional games. He calmly calls it out. If you're upset, we can talk. But using affection as leverage isn't how I do relationships. He knows that real love isn't transactional. It isn't a reward for good behavior. And if she can only love you when you comply, that's not love at all. That's control. If you've ever tolerated any of these behaviors, it's time to draw the line. A stoic man doesn't beg. He doesn't bargain. He sets boundaries and he enforces them. So I want to know, which of these 8 behaviors have you seen the most, and what did you do about it? Comment below with "I draw the line." Let's see how many men here are ready to take back their respect.